One night, several years ago, our kids had gone to bed, or so we thought. Luke was 2.5 years old, and Timothy was almost 4. They were supposed to be in bed going to sleep, but I kept hearing noises from their room. I went into their room and found Luke was out of bed. He ran to his bed and kept saying to me in that 2.5-year-old voice, "I am bed, I am bed." I said, "No, you're not. Now stay in bed." Not wanting to be in trouble by himself, he said, "Timothy out of bed. Timothy have toys." I took some toys out of Timothy's bed and I told both of them, "Now stay in bed." A little later, I had to go into their bedroom again, and again Luke was out of bed. As I put him back in bed, he kept saying something about Timothy, but I was having a hard time understanding him. I looked, and Timothy was in his bed, and Timothy was asleep, and I thought he was just trying to get Timothy in trouble again. I said, "Timothy's not doing wrong. He's asleep." Luke spoke again and said, "Timothy need covered." He was not trying to get Timothy in trouble, but to help him. Timothy had fallen asleep and had kicked his covers off of himself. Luke was concerned about Timothy being covered and warm. He cared for his brother, and he wanted someone to help him. In John 15, Jesus has talked about abiding in Him and letting who He is flow through us and produce His image in us. John 15:12, He says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." He gives a command about loving others like He loved us. In other words, as He has loved us with a sacrificial love, that's how we are to love others. The problem, it's not always easy to love others this way. It's not always easy to sacrifice of ourselves for others or to consider others before ourselves. So how do we learn to love this way? The secret goes back to abiding in Him. As I abide in Him, He works through me to produce this kind of love. In Galatians 5:22, the Bible says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love." The love that we are to have is a love that God must produce in us. If we are to abide in Him, this love will be there. In 1 John 4:12, the Bible says, "No man hath seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and His love is perfected in us." Evidence of God working in our lives will be to love like Jesus loved. My son cared about his brother and wanted to help him. If we are to abide in Him, we will love others, and our lives will prove it.